Oh my god! That shit creeped me out! Minasan, konnichiwa, Kazu desu. Welcome back to Paranormasight. Thanks for showing me. Let's continue. Alright, let's start with the police guy. Tetsuo Tsutsumi. Chief Inspector of the Metropolitan Police Department, 1st Investigative Division, is investigating the mysterious death of a fellow officer. He visits the scene of the incident, the former Yasuda Gardens, with his subordinate Jun Erio. Okay. 11 p.m. This should be before everything happened, right? Because everything happened at midnight, I think. Hey boss, forensics is all done. The crime scene is clean. The other officers have all gone home. It's just us now. The park should be able to open back up tomorrow, like nothing ever happened. I doubt it'll get many visitors after everything that's happened. You'd be surprised. Lots of people love that kind of thing. I bet they'll be lining up to get in. Occult stuff is really popular right now. Did you not know that, boss? Sounds stupid. Well, it's not exactly rooted in science, but if ghosts really did exist, we could just ask them who the perp is. Somehow, I doubt that would be that simple. Oh, but you know, I've heard that the high school girls are really into the spirit board thing these days. Supposedly, you can call on spirits and talk to them by using his board with letters on it. Wouldn't that be something? You can try it out yourself if you're so interested. Hey, that's not a bad idea. Let's give it a go sometime, boss. What, now? Stop messing around. You really think we're gonna solve this case by moving a coin across a scrap of paper? Sounds like you know all about it. We've got to be open-minded. What if that's how police work is gonna be from now on? Don't make me laugh. Spirit board. I see. Coin and a piece of paper. Using this. Questions. Right? Many school banned these spirit boards after there were several cases of students sneaking to schools at night. In addition to stories of people having seizures when using the boards. Okay. Listen up, Hideo. You can't go blaming the death of your buddy on something like the occult. I don't care if it was ghosts or the occult or what. Whoever or whatever it was that did this, I'll get them. I promise you that. Well, you got the right attitude, but we don't even know if this is a murder yet. Biases weaken our judgment. Get too fixated on one thing, and you stop seeing everything else. Aye, boss. So, now that we finished investigating the scene, let's review what we know. Huh? Now? It's getting late. I figure we head straight home from here. Come on, we've got to go over all the info we've gathered. And what better place to do that than here, at the scene of the crime, where we can soak up the atmosphere. Soak up the atmosphere? The hell is there to soak up? You must be really into this occult stuff if you get off on being in a place like this. Wait, you mean being somewhere else like this doesn't get your blood pumping? No way. No, don't turn this around on me. I'm not the weird one here. Cripes. Fine. Let's get this over with. Aye, boss. So, let's think. I've got a bad feeling about this case, and my gut is rarely wrong. I knew this would be a treacherous case from the moment we were dragged into it. Let's look around first. Anything suspicious? I think it's the same place, same gardens, same everything. Okay, let's talk to him. About the case. So, early in the morning yesterday, a staff member found the victim collapsed here in the park and called the police when they realized he was dead. He's cursed. It seems like he's cursed. While there was no obvious external wounds, the fact that he was a police officer and that evidence of a struggle, meaning it was likely that was a murder. The Sumida office sent it over to us since it involved the death of an officer, and we were tasked with the investigation. What we need to do is figure out what happened and whether there was foul play involved. I think that about sums it up. But, boss? Yeah? Is this case really important enough to assign to someone from the investigation division? I mean, a friend of mine died, so it's important to me, but it's all up to the higher-ups. I'm sure they've got their reasons. Boss, you know something, don't you? It'll all become clear in no time. Try not to worry about it too much. Thinking about it, the only thing we know for sure is the identity of the victim. I mean, there must have been something special about him, right? Maybe he knew something he wasn't supposed to. Some kind of secret or something. Isn't that right? You're pretty sharp sometimes, you know that? If you picked up on that, you should be able to put the rest together yourself. Well, it is our duty to get to the bottom of a suspicious death, especially one involving an officer. That's it, okay, about the victim? Hajime Yoshimi, of the Juvenile Division of the Sumida City Community Safety Bureau, 27 years old, single. He mostly dealt with cases involving juveniles and education. His rank was Senior Police Officer. You knew him well, didn't you? What was he like? Yes, we were in the academy together. We still went out for drinks together every month or two. He could be a little rowdy, but he was like a big brother to us all. He was kind and cared about his friends. For better or worse, he wasn't the uptight type of cop. The man always showed empathy, and I heard he was popular with the locals for it. He treated each and every troubled kid he met with compassion. He had a great track record when it came to rehabilitation. Sounds like we lost a good one. Yeah, we did. We truly did. I knew being a cop was dangerous. I knew something like this could happen, but it's never easy when it happens for real. I know the feeling. He didn't seem to care much about climbing the ranks, but he was at the top of our class. Only problem was that he took on so much. He had the most unfinished paperwork too. I always felt we need an unusual guy like him to help us solve all our unusual cases. I see. Once a rebellious gang member himself, turned his life around, used his own experiences to connect with troubled youth as a police officer. I see. He left behind a fiancée whom he had been dating since high school. Okay. Don't worry, you're plenty unusual yourself. Me? I was the most normal of my classmates. Besides, the real weirdo among us quit the academy a long time ago. There was one even weirder than you. Are you gonna tell me about that? Huh. Hajime was quite the bad boy in school, apparently. He ended up with the police a lot. He said the officer in charge was good to him, helped him get back on track. The reason he wanted to become a cop was to pay his kindness forward, so it was the first time he ever took his studies seriously. That's a good story. Love that kind of thing. Makes me want to have a drink with his honor. Please don't make fun of that dead friend. Hey, I said in his honor. You should aspire to become the kind of cop people miss when they die in the field. You say that like it's a sure thing I'll die. Besides, if I end up biting it, I'm sure you'll be the one who misses me the most, boss. Huh? Come on, don't be like that. You hurt my morale. Well, I guess how much I'll miss you depends on how this investigation goes. I can already see it. Why'd you have to go and get yourself killed? I have no idea what's going on in the head of yours. Yeah, that'll be a sight to see. I can't wait. You can't wait for your own death? Get it together, kid. Shish, you really are something. Thank you? I don't think that's a compliment. What about the victim's family? The Yoshimi family is from Kita Senju in Adachi City, but Hajime's parents died a long time ago. They lived there all alone, no siblings or anything. I went to his house a few times for drinks. I was surprised. It's this huge, old-looking place. Like, you know, the kind of place that seems super haunted. And he lived there alone. It looked like the home of an old noble family. It was hard to imagine him being such a delinquent living in a house like that. There's that bias I was talking about. Is he from an old family? I'm sure things were complicated. That's a bias too. He never talked about any of that, even when we were drunk, so I don't know much about it. Oh, one more thing. Yeah? Hajime was engaged. He's been seeing his fiancée ever since they were in school over 10 years. They just started talking about getting married. What was her name again? He showed me a picture once. She was a beautiful woman. That's so. How terrible for her. But she may know if there been anything going on with him lately. We should speak to her. Yeah, his fiancée may have been his only confidant. I'm sure someone at the Sumida Police Department has already contacted her. I'll look into it tomorrow. Okay, that's interesting. More? Hey boss. I looked into the case that Hajime was running. Oh, great. That's the kind of stuff I want to know. What was Hajime working on the day he died? Well, according to his report from the day before, he had 2 cases involving juveniles. First was the suicide of a high school girl who jumped off a building in Kamezawa last week. Yeah, I did hear about that. This must be... Oh my god. The girl name was Michio Shiraishi. She was a second-year student, Komagata High School. But it seems as though Hajime had contact with her even before this incident. So she'd been in trouble for some time. That's the thing. About a month ago, he happened to see her walking around town. She looked upset, so he struck up a conversation with her. He was sure there was something bothering her, but she wouldn't tell him what. Must have been trouble at home. That's what he thought too. It seems he visited her home and spoke to her parents, but they said there was no problem, so there was nothing he could do. And now she's dead. Then it's possible he could have prevented her suicide then. He must have been devastated. And that's why he's looking into this Michio Shiraishi again. He must have thought that something terrible had happened that drove her to end her life. But ultimately, he never reported the findings of his investigation. I see. And you're thinking that it may have something to do with his death. We'll have to find out what it is Hajime discovered. Right, let's check with the Sumida Police Department about that too tomorrow. Okay. Still? Oh my god, can you say it all in one sitting? And what's with the other case he was working on? This one is also related to Komagata High School student. A troublemaker named Hitomi Okuda. She seems to be the leader of this group of kids who got up to no good. Juvenile delinquency. Fun. She was pretty bad for a while. Multiple charges of destruction of property, assault, and battery. You name it. Hajime had been working with her for about 6 months, and she was finally starting to open up. Then, he met with the girl the day he died. Well, every school's got its problems. But I'm sure he'd be worried about how she'd get on without him. Right, just when she's finally found an adult she could trust. She might act out without someone to help her get through this. We'll have to make sure the Sumida Community Safety Bureau does their job. But, we can't rule out the possibility that meeting with this delinquent girl has something to do with his death. Then we'll have to interview her too. You're right. She may have been the last person to see him alive after all. I'll ask Sumida to introduce us tomorrow. Though, who knows if they'll actually let us talk with her. That's what we hire you for. Lay a little boyish charm on them if they need convincing. Yeah. I'm sure they prefer me over a scary-looking old man like you, boss. Watch it. I'm still your superior. You ought to act like you respect me at least. Oh, I thought I was. You were? Shit, is that just how your generation speaks? You really are a new breed. It's probably just me, actually. Well, don't think you can get away with that with other people. So anyway, boss. Were you even listening? We've got quite a bit to look into tomorrow. First, the 2 Komagata High School cases that Hajime was handling. And we need to speak with his fiancée as well. I believe that's it for tomorrow. Oh man. I doubt we're gonna go into the next day. Okay, finally done with that. Cause of death, Tsutsumi about the occult. Oh my god, so much conversation, dude. As for the cause of death, we won't know until the autopsy is done. From what we've seen, though, it appeared to be some kind of acute heart failure. But since he had no record of a chronic illness, he had no visible wound, it's possible that poison or drugs could have been involved. Dying in the middle of the park like that, it certainly seems suspicious. We found signs of a struggle at the scene, as well as footprints that belong to an unidentified individual. We've got people trying to identify those prints. If we can find who they belong to, we might be able to figure this whole thing out. Yes, wouldn't that be nice if that were the end of it? The only things Hajime had on him were his badge and his wallet in his pockets. So we can rule out a mugging. Though there probably aren't many people who think to try mugging a cop as big as him. I've also heard that Hajime got into a fair few fights in his younger days. He started judo once he became an officer and rose up the ranks quickly. Sounds like the perp would have to have been pretty strong to take on Hajime. Time of death was around 11 PM 2 days ago, outside the park's operating hours of course. His body was found early in the morning yesterday, 11 PM the day before yesterday. What was Hajime doing here at the time in the first place? That's the question, isn't it? The entrance to the park is closed after hours, but there's a small gate that'd be fairly easy for him to get through if he really wanted to. That would, of course, be breaking and entering, but what do you think, boss? Someone called him here. It's hard to imagine a cop like Hajime would trespass for no reason. And since it seemed like someone else was here with him, could they have called him here? Oh, that does seem likely. They must have been talking about something pretty sensitive to come here in the middle of the night. So Hajime met someone here to discuss something in secret. And then they got into a fight. No, that wouldn't match the cause of death. There were no wounds on the body that would indicate a spontaneous scuffle. The perp must have planned something. Then you think was meditated? That would mean they called Hajime to the park with the intent to kill him. Well, there is still the possibility that it was just some kind of accident. Maybe the perp tried to threaten Hajime and things went south from there. We should be able to get a clearer picture once we know exactly what killed him. Right. That's it for that, okay? But either way, I'm so glad you're back in the first division, boss. I've always admired your work. You were like a god to me. You were the whole reason I became a detective in the first place. Yeah, about that. People have been saying that ever since you first entered the academy, but... Yes, that's because it's true. I can't believe you got transferred out of the first just as I assigned to it. So getting to work a case like this now, just the two of us, is a dream come true. Happy as I am to hear that, well, how should I put it? What is it? If that's true, I'm not sure you've been showing me the appropriate amount of respect. Huh? But I do respect you. Don't tell me you go and see now, boss. That's exactly what I'm talking about when you run your mouth like that. It's getting late. You must be sleepy. Don't worry, boss. I'll make sure we get out here soon. Yeah, I get it. More? I've been wowed by your shoe detective abilities all day today. Oh really? Funny, I've been wowed by you too. Oh my god. On the topic of family, what's yours like, boss? The hell is wrong with you, prying into my personal life all of a sudden? It's just, I've never heard you talk about them or anything. Oh, are you single? Shut it, that's none of your business. Well, ever since I joined the force, I've been thinking. The department really pressures young officers to getting married. I wonder why that is. You don't say anything like that though. How should I know? I caved to pressure myself and got married 20 some years ago. Huh? So then... God, you're relentless. She took our daughter and left 4 years ago. Thanks for reminding me. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't believe she gave up on a guy like you. I was never home much, too focused on work. I'd come home late only to get called right back out again. Plus, being a cop is dangerous work. I don't blame her for getting fed up with it all. How sad, especially when you're out here putting your life on the line. Oh, is that why you transferred out at first? It was already too late by then. You better be careful, Rio. You say that, but there's not much I can do, is there? That's the nature of our job. There aren't many who can really understand it, not unless they're involved with police work themselves or related to someone who is. But wait, you have a daughter, boss. You really think I want to talk about her after all that? Have some sense. Come on, I promise I don't mean this the way it sounds, but how old is she? Jeez, you don't know when to quit, do you? At least try not to look so intrigued. He's intrigued. She's a bit rough around the edges. I think most men are intimidated by her. Last I heard, she's living by herself and going to college. Wow, a college student. Men love an educated lady. Stop that. What kind of cop are you? Making baseless assumptions like that. She's living on her own though, huh? You must worry about her. Worry? I don't even know where she lives. Oh, so she hasn't told you. Probably because she knows you follow her around everywhere. I would not. I don't think. Come on now, we both know that's not true. Listen here. You may look like a mean old man, but you sure have a soft side. What? Is that supposed to be a compliment? I can't keep up with you. We're done talking about this. Are we really done? We're not done yet. Oh, that reminds me. If you got married 20 years ago, it must have been right around the Nejima murder. We're talking about this too over here. You know your history. Yeah, that happened a year or two after our wedding. You were the one who arrested the killer, weren't you? We studied the case at the academy. I was only in elementary school at the time, but I still remember people talking about some dangerous criminal getting arrested. All that was just cracking the case, finding the guy. It was all just happenstance. I really rather not think about it. It was a disturbing case. Did it not make your skin crawl when you learned about it at the academy? It did. We were all terrified. Sounds about right. No one could believe that such a mild-mannered man could have committed such a terrible murder. If we had overlooked one little thing, we may never have caught him at all. I think I remember hearing there was only one charge brought against him in the end. That's right, we didn't have the evidence. I knew there was no way such a meticulously planned crime could have been there first, but... We may have stuck Fumichika Nejima in a cell, but it was no victory. He's always had the upper hand. And all the damage she did to everyone involved, especially the victim's classmates. It's already been 20 years, huh? God damn it. This is why I try not to think about it. I'm sorry. Oh man. Okay, about the occult. So, all this occult stuff, have you heard about it, boss? What are you talking about? This Rite of Resurrection thing that everyone's talking about. No, not you too. I've been hearing about that shit everywhere. Oh, you have? That's surprising. Who cares what people are talking about? It's got nothing to do with our job. But don't you think the occult stuff with this case feels, I don't know, realer somehow? The whole thing started right here in Honjo in Sumida City, so I thought maybe. Cut it out. Nothing good can come of getting involved with that rite or whatever, or that record of fates. Sounds like you know all about it. Boss, are you secretly into the occult? Stop it. Seriously, this isn't a joke. I get why you'd be intrigued by something called the Rite of Resurrection after a buddy of yours died, but bring the dead back to life. That's the stuff of fantasy. It's not real. So don't go hoping for miracles. Got it? Is that it? That's it. Well now, think. Got a bad feeling about this case and my gut is really wrong. I knew this would be a treacherous case, yet it's thought this already. Detective, yeah. This is first time leading a case. It's like he's graduated from rookie to newbie. He looks well put together on the outside, but acts like a kid most of the time. Honestly, the force could use more people like him. Is there something else I had to click on? Surroundings? Former Yasugara's and Yoko, Ami, Ichome were originally built as part of daimyo estate back in the Edo period. Became city property a number of years ago, underwent extensive renovations. Not a soul around at the time of night, quiet doesn't even begin to describe it. Pond. They say it used to flow into the Sumida River, but the river became so polluted that they cut it off. Are there bodies? Well, it has to be rotted away already. It's been so long, right? What else can we click on? Oh, the scene. This is where this victim was found. It's clean now. It almost feels like nothing happened here at all. But once an incident like this has come to pass, there's no going back. Not that knowing that is any consolation. Well, boss, I think that's about does it. Right, let's call it for tonight. I'll see you tomorrow. Oh my god! That shit creeped me out! What the hell? What is that? Huh, boss? What's wrong? Don't tell me you're going senile. This is how he became a curse bearer. Damn it! It was that case all along. Huh? Boss, what is it? Is there something over there? Such deep sorrow, a resentful memory is flowing into my mind. Okay, what is this curse? What is it? Kill them. Kill them. Those who spread lies. Kill them all. Okay, Evergreen Beach. You can use it to kill who intentionally tries to mislead you. Okay, that's a requirement. Holy shit. Let's see. He deceived us with his so-called Rite of Resurrection. The man who tricked the people with his false dark arts swings from a rope. They thought the man had escaped the previous night, but oddly enough, he was found hanging in the garden of the daimyo's mansion that morning. The man, a local named Jinkichi, was known for his kind temperament and skill in crafting Netsuke claps. While his life wasn't always easy, he was optimistic, the type to smile through whatever life threw at him. He was the kind of man who would take care of those who didn't have anyone else to rely on. The prosperity that the ukiyo-e boom brought must have been what fanned the flames of his greed. The old craftsman was found in a miserable state, as if sentenced to some cruel fate. Perhaps he ended his own life, unable to bear the weight of his crime. But dead men tell no tales, and the people thought of him as a bad man even in his death. He hung there for days till his neck stretched horrifically, a visage of pain still etched on his face. It was clear he must have struggled greatly as he died, his flesh marked with dark scars where the rope wrapped around his whole body. The beech tree leaves do not fall, and neither did the man's body hanging from it. As the mansion's owner was not at home, another unfortunate event, people held their tongues, fearing divine punishment, but the rumors persist nonetheless. Oh man. A murderous impulse seeps into my soul like thick black tar. Wow. Oh man. Can you hear it, curse bearer? You who so strongly desires the right. Kill them. Boss. Boss! Boss, what's the matter? Don't tell me you really went senile. Sorry. I'm fine. Edio. Yes? I have some bad news. Oh no. His senility is kicking in, isn't it? What is with him and going senile, dude? No, we got a bit of trouble on our hands. Looks like we'll be working some overtime. We're not going home tonight. Huh? What are you talking about? Is he gonna tell him? Oh man. Oh, we can still continue, I guess. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna end this one here for today. Do we actually get to kill someone with a detective? I don't think so. He's a detective. I don't think he's gonna kill someone, right? Who does he want to bring back? Is there anyone he wants to bring back? But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, be sure awesome. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one. Matane.